Okay, so kind of an interesting pull. Welcome to Sigil Archipielago. Archipielago, if you read it properly. Beat says it's the Spanish spelling, even though we're speaking in English, but you know. It's his stage, as we'll get into, so he can spell it however he damn well pleases. But anyway, Sigil Archipielago originally was sort of Beats just kind of messing around in Unity as he was trying to create what was essentially a test stage for the PO6 mod loader back in the day, Sonic PO6. I guess if you're watching this without knowing what PO6 is, which you should definitely change that. I've got a lot of videos talking about that fan project as well. But while Beats was making the mod loader for that, he kind of did this as a proof of concept to show creating custom stages. And like I said, the dude's been making Unity stuff since his diaper days, so I really think that, like, this was great. This is a lot of fun to play in PO6, and I was like, well, because the stage isn't necessarily wide open, because obviously a lot of 3D Sonic stages are made exclusively for Sonic and only care about his skill set, so they tend to be really wide open. And when you put a character, like we saw in Emerald Coast, when you put characters like Tails or Knuckles in, you can kind of like fly and sort of glide over all of the challenge. But in this case, with how, not boxed in, but just sort of vertical this level is, it kind of showcases using the gliding, the flying, all of that stuff to greater effect. So I thought that this was a really cool stage that could have been included in this project, and well, here it is. So it was interesting, like putting in stuff that was in PO6 and putting it back into Hero, and you can see like some of the terrain doesn't quite work with Knuckles' gliding like absolutely perfectly, especially the jaggier edges, but thankfully the Knuckles is pretty robust in that he very rarely gets stuck on things. Now, we saw him get stuck on a wall in Emerald Coast, so it's definitely not a foolproof thing. It's with characters like these, it's definitely difficult to account for every single instance where something could happen. But one of my favorite parts of Sigil here is this was actually my suggestion long time ago. That Beats wanted to have this rail set piece, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if it was, you know, blue, yellow, and red for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, respectively, back when he was making it for PO6. So it's cool just to see it in full force once again here, and of course showcasing the rail switching, maybe teasing a few other elements of what's going to be in this stage when you guys play it. But let's go ahead and jump to Sonic, where we are going to really be zooming here. Now, I gotta be honest, the developer times for Sigil is very hard. Beats won't claim it to be so, but the dev time for Sigil is very hard. I will have like a dev time guide for when you guys get the chance to play the game yourself. But yeah, this is probably the hardest one in the game. And to peel back the curtain, when it came to making the developer times, we did every stage as base Sonic, but there is no requirement like to play it as base Sonic, like it was just a through line. Oh, also showcasing the light speed attack. That's a new addition for Sonic in Project Hero Rewired. Beats was just like, he messaged me like over the weekend. It was like, I put this in, and I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome. So now Sonic has the light speed attack. You activate that with the left trigger or equivalent when you're near a couple enemies, which is pretty nice for those bigger enemy groups. Seeing those 06 enemies again. But anyway, showcasing a different path here, going out to the beach, grabbing a bubble shield, which isn't terribly useful for Sonic, because an interesting thing about the bubble shield in Project Hero, and it's like this in the original 2019 build as well, is that if you press the shield button, which we moved to left bumper in Project Hero Rewired, it was originally on right bumper with the drop dash, but there were requests to have them be separate actions, and left bumper wasn't used, so the shields are now on left bumper as a FYI. There is a hint ring in Windmill Isle that tells you that as well, so it is in the game. It's not like, oh, you just have to know it. But I believe that's the only binding we changed when it came to the original moveset. But anyway, if you press the left bumper of your shield button, if you're playing the original build, really quickly, the shield will act like a stomp. but if you hold the button, it'll do the bounce like you saw earlier, which Sonic has the stomp and the bounce, so it's kind of a moot point for him, showcasing a little shortcut there. I really like that design of the adventure games. That feels like a very like token Sonic Adventure skip right there. As we zoom on into watching Tails go through Sigil and taking a little detour to the right side here. What was I talking about? Yeah, the bubble shield. The bubble shield is actually, like, while it's not great for Sonic, it's actually really cool for Tails and Knuckles, because especially with the buttons separated, you're able to give Tails and Knuckles the bounce and the stomp, which is kind of neat. Also showcasing there's an invisible wall here that was brought over from PO6 because that's the end of the stage and you could beat it in like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. Another invisible wall right there. But not here, not here. And also a showcase that yes, in fact, Tails and Knuckles can use the elemental shield abilities just like Sonic can. Which is really nice, trying to get a spin dash jump there. Oh man, I now understand. Even when you help make a game, you can still be dog shit at it. But, anyway, so I don't have too much to say. I just love talking, so just keep going. But yeah, I'm really happy that Sigil was actually able to make it into the project officially. Like, I think this level is really cool, and I hope that its inclusion full on in Project Hero Rewired kind of brings it more to light. And I hope that maybe Beats makes another stage at some point, like completely custom, because he's kind of good at it. Oh man, he's probably loving how much I'm praising him over this project, but I mean, wouldn't be here without him, so very cool. As we get to the final parts of the stage here, there is a little path to the left, but I'm gonna, as my math books did back when I was in college, they always said that's an exercise for the reader, so you'll have to see what's lurking over there when you get your hands on the project as well. But as we reach the end here, that's all I have for you for now. So I hope you... Oh my god. Alright, well, I guess I'll see you next time.